Good morning from Gavin Emmett at the Algarve International Circuit. We are just a few kilometres from the coastal city of Portimao and ready to bring you the Portuguese Grand Prix. Just a few more moments and we'll switch to the starting straight for the MotoGP class race. The cameras take us to the starting grid, where riders and engineers are discussing those final details. Today is a perfect day for racing. The sun is shining and temperatures are mild. Most of the riders plumping straight for medium tyres at the front and rear.
Row further back. Tranmere, Brad Binder, Alex Rins make up row 5, while Franco Morbidelli and Takaki Nakagami are joined by the class's sole rookie Augusto Fernandez in row 6. Completing your grid for the Portuguese GP is Raul Fernandez and Fabio Di Gianantonio.
The riders are lined up on the grid with Pecco Bagnaia in pole position and ready to start. Just a few more seconds until the lights go out and the race begins.
It's today the day that Barron run ends. Green flag waves at the back. We're all set to go here in Portugal in the full-length feature race. Marquez got away really well from pole position. Bagnaia gets squeezed by both Martin and Marquez. He had to back out of it there, didn't he? And coming through, fast starting, is Miguel Oliveira. Oliveira briefly done his home Grand Prix.
And then we've got it pretty around the outside of Maverick Vinales. He's off to a great start. He's trying to go wheel to wheel with Bagnaia and Oliveira. Up to fourth now.
I thought it was a touch. I think there was contact. Marquez was super aggressive on the inside of Oliveira and Martin into turn number 3. He picked up Oliveira. I'm not sure if Martin and Marquez did actually touch each other there going through that turn 3. Oliveira though is back at the front. The crowd are on their feet here in Portugal. You can barely hear yourself think because the Portuguese fans, they're already sensing maybe a historic victory here.
History repeated itself for Fabio Quartararo. He had a shocking start yesterday and he's gone backwards again. He's back behind his teammate Quartararo outside of the points in 16.
Well, he had a problem with the launch control yesterday, didn't he? As soon as he clicked second gear, the bike just did not drive forwards. Let's hope they rectified that, but Fabio Quartararo, as Lewis mentioned, had another absolute nightmare. Up at turn 10, this is where Oliveira's podium hopes for the sprint disappeared yesterday. Safely through this time around, and he leads his home Grand Prix on the number 88 bike, on last year's Aprilia, a bike that Aleix Espargaro took the win in Argentina. Aprilia had just one win in their MotoGP history, but Oliveira making the early running here. Martin second, Bagnaia regrouped after he got pinched off the line. He was squeezed in between both Marquez and Martin. He just had to momentarily roll off the throttle. But we're on board now with the world champion through this 5th gear. Turn number 15. Can he immediately find a way to run Jorge Martin? I think he has on the inside line.
Well, Martin got the drive in the end off the final corner as last year's Aprilia leads this Grand Prix in the hands of Miguel Oliveira. This year's one, we've got Maverick Vinales running in 5th, but Aleix Espargaro, another big loser off the line, he's down into 14th. Bagnaia, though, does get through at the end of the main straight on Martin. Miguel Oliveira's early advantage has quickly been closed back down again. The two Ducatis that enjoyed the best of the sprint yesterday, Bagnaia and Martin quickly up behind him. Yeah,
Bagnaia's gone for it into the 1st gear, turn number 13. It was tight, but he made it move in there. That was nicely done by Pecco Bagnaia. Now then, at the front of this Grand Prix already, coming to the conclusion of lap 2, Pecco Bagnaia leads. That was the textbook overtake into turn 13 on Oliveira. What can Oliveira do in rapid response? They drop down then through turns 14 and 15. You're building up to about 240 kilometers an hour here over the crest. Then you'll just click 6th gear over the finish line up to around 350 k's. Bagnaia, can Oliveira get through? It's such a tough task, isn't it, to try and drag by that factory Ducati. Bagnaia is so good on the brakes. He's got so much confidence and trust in that front end. No way back through. And Bagnaia, a 1:39.459, sets this door. Marquez! He has absolutely slammed into Miguel Oliveira. Yellow flags right in sectors 1 and 2. There was initial contact, I think, a clip on Jorge Martin. And what a nightmare it's turned out to be for Miguel Oliveira. And he's hurt. That was a really big whack. He had a horrible high side, didn't he, Lewis, on Friday, which damaged his lower left limb, his lower left leg. That was all Marc Marquez's crash. What happened here? Let's try and pick the bones out of this one. There is Marquez in fourth, coming through turn 2 now in the braking zone. Oh, he just gets it all wrong, all wrong. He did clip Jorge Martin as we first thought, and then as he clipped Martin, look at that, he just pitched him further forward, absolutely slams into the luckless Miguel Oliveira. Nothing that Oliveira could do about that, and that's ended Martin's hopes of a podium here today, surely. But the big victim of that mistake by Marquez was Oliveira. He's on the stretcher. He looked like he got a real nasty whack. The impact big on his lower right leg. He was already, as we said, nursing some nasty bruise on the left leg after a high side on Friday. Bagnaia is responding to the charge from Vinales as Bergenre gets through on Jack Miller, then that's for third place. Bagnaia just responding to the charge from Vinales. A PB lap from Bagnaia, 1:39.302.
The graphic on screen there confirming what I was just about to tell you, that Maverick Vinales is quicker than Bagnaia now for the last 3 laps consecutively, so he's zeroing in on the back of the race leader. Catching is one thing, passing is quite another. The stars aligning for Maverick Vinales. Of course, he was promoted onto the second row of the grid by an incident which took Bastianini out of contention yesterday, and of course 3 of the riders between himself and Pecco Bagnaia all taken out in the same instant, leaving him a free run into second place. All he has to do now, is pass the reigning world champion.
It's at turn 5. Miller runs out the marbles. That's why Alex Marquez came on through. Just a little bit too hot there offline, multi-jack. He dared squeeze that front brake any harder, otherwise he's going to lock the front and go down there. A top 5 would be a real solid result here for Miller, off the back of a 4th in the sprint. That will represent an excellent debut weekend for him in KTM colours. Now then, Vinales is just gobbling up the meters here, isn't he? On Pecco Bagnaia into turn number 3. Again, it's through those fast turns 1 and 2 where Vinales can pick up that speed. Pecco Bagnaia did say big improvements this year on the factory Ducati, which he requested from Bologna, a better edge grip and better corner speed. But it looks like at the moment they're still inferior to the Aprilia behind him.
Bagnaia did respond on that last lap, as you say. He found his personal best lap at the Grand Prix, 1:39.142, but it was matched by Vinales. Reminder, the Aprilias out there, the 3 remaining Aprilias, are on the harder front tyre. Pecco Bagnaia has gone for the medium front tyre, so plenty of support, plenty of front-end confidence, no doubt, for Maverick Vinales, and he's just got to play a patient game here if he believes he's got the pace to stay with Bagnaia. A very different approach, of course, to this race than we saw in the sprint yesterday. Of course, in the sprint, over 12 laps, they could just go flat out from start to finish. In this one, a bit more of a game of cat and mouse. Vinales needs to make sure that he's got some grip left at the end of this Grand Prix to launch an attack on Bagnaia later on.
Marc Marquez, as we thought he would do, goes straight down to the pit box of Aprilia RS Miguel Oliveira, and an apologetic sort of gesture as well to the crowd. And
not sure it was accepted.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that some of the crowd are giving Mark a fairly hostile reception, because some of them, they came here for one thing and one thing only, to see Miguel Oliveira fight for the win, and that was a task ended in cruel circumstances by that rash mistake by Marc Marquez. As we know though, Marquez, he will be very remorseful, fully apologetic. The most important thing is we hope that Miguel Oliveira is going to be okay to participate in next weekend's Argentinian Grand Prix, because the signs are, Lewis, many people's dark horse for a title tilt this year, and on the evidence what we've seen so far, that's a sound bet.
It is a sound bet. Fabio Gian Antonio's nightmare weekend has finally come to a conclusion. He's pulled into the pits. Having started last, he was running around at the back of the field a long way off the pace. His last lap before he pitted was over 2 minutes, so clearly some problem with that GRESINI Ducati. Back at the front then, it's punch and counter punch. They trade sector times. In one sector, Bagnaia ekes out a 10.42. Vinales closes it back again later on in the lap. We've got a perfect view here to look back from Pecco Bagnaia to see where that Aprilia closes in. We now look forward to the shoulder cam of the world champion. 1:39.2 for Bagnaia and 39.1 for Vinales. There is nothing to choose between them.
Still can't get close enough though to Bagnaia to show him his front wheel, can he? Really good fight rolling on here as well for third place. Marco Bezzecchi on the VR46 Ducati. He's third at the moment. He has it by just about a 1/10 from Alex Marquez. Then it's the 2 factory KTMs that are still right in contention for the top 3. It's Miller from Binder.
are on board with Jack Miller looking ahead, and Alex Marquez, Brad Binder behind him. What a confidence boost.
And Brad Binder, he's like one of those little terriers that just nips around your ankles, isn't he? He will just not let you rest for 1 second. Why would he? Because there's an absolutely stunning fourth place up for grabs here. We're on the last lap here in the Tiso Grand Prix of Portugal, and it looks like Pecco Bagnaia will make the perfect start of the defence of his crown, although Maverick Vinales did find 0.3 of a second on that second to last lap. Is that just Bagnaia rolling off ever so slightly? Well, we'll find out very, very shortly. Still all on though for fourth place. It's now back in the hands of Alex Marquez.
Yeah, the KTM's helpless once again down the main straight. Binder lost out to Marquez, and Miller lost out to Zarco, who's now shaping up for a potential move and taking 5th place. That might be all she wrote for Alex Marquez. If he can get onto the main straight in 4th place, he'll keep it.
Another 10th gain by Vinales in Sector 1. This gap now down to Bagnaia is just over half a second. A late charge pinch coming in from Vinales. Bagnaia has responded in Sector 2. It looks like he's just stage managing that gap, not taking the big risk. He knows starting the last lap 6/10 clear of Vinales, he should have it covered. Is there a way through on Zarco through Binder? You bet there is. He's got the inside line going through turn number 11. They drop down now through 12. This has been a stunning late charge from Johan Zarco. Will he be the man that takes 4th place away from Alex Marquez? It looks like it might be Ducati versus Ducati, KTM versus KTM for that 4th spot. At the moment it's in the hands of Alex Marquez. You can see though Pecco Bagnaia in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Oh, that was tight, really tight. Zarco leans on Alex Marquez, and it looks like Zarco will take the 4th place. But Pecco Bagnaia showing just why he's the reigning world champion. Bagnaia wins the Grand Prix of Portugal. He takes the sprint.
A long race weekend comes to a close with the end of the MotoGP race. Let's have a look at the race results, and then we'll see you in a moment for the podium ceremony.